Ladies and gentlemen, welcome you to the Chicagoland Speedway for race number 14 of the 2015 NASCAR Xfinity Series season. I'm Rick Burton in the booth here to deliver you 27 laps of live racing here from Chicago. Today's race is the Owens AttiCat 300. I believe that's the name of the race. If not, just look at the title of the video. Elliott Sadler is on the pole for the first time in 2015, driving for Jack Roush's number 1 team, and on the outside of the front row is Regan Smith in the 7. Two drivers who are looking to gain ground in the championship as they are both tied for 5th in points. Row 2, we have the number 3 of Ty Dillon alongside his Cup Series teammate Paul Menard. Row 3, we have the number 22 of Ryan Blaney and the 54 of Drew Herring. Row 4, we have the 62 of Brendan Gaughan and the number 6 of Darrell Wallace Jr. Running up the top 10 is Chris Buescher and Brendan Poole. Chase Elliott continues to dominate in 2015, but his point lead has kind of decreased. He now has a 45-point lead on second place Brian Scott. Darrell Wallace Jr. and Ty Dillon tied for 3rd in points, and Regan Smith and Elliott Sadler are tied for 5th. In the most recent race in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, we were at Michigan, where we saw a fantastic photo finish between Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick. Will we see another finish like that today? We're about to find out as we take you to the starting grid for today's race at Chicago. Race car leading the field onto the racetrack. As you just had a look at your starting grid, Elliott Sadler and Regan Smith, your front row. Let's take you through the field, show you some other drivers in the field, beginning with the number 20 of Ross Kenseth, son of 2003 champion Matt Kenseth, making his Xfinity Series debut here today, Ross Kenseth. Also in the field, we have the number 88, driven by Ben Rhodes for Virginia Motorsports. In the field also, we're going to look at the number 26, driven by Kyle Fowler. In the field also today, the 55 of Jamie Dick. Morgan Shepherd in the 89, Derek White in the 13, Josh Ream in the 40. And completing the field is the 79 of Charles Lewandowski, a teammate to Jimmy Means in the number 52 car, and Bobby Gerhart driving the 19 for TriStar this weekend. Bobby Gerhart will start 39th alongside Lewandowski. But up front, Elliott Sadler and Regan Smith, your front row, coming down towards the green flag. We're getting underway for race number 14 in 2015 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series season. And Elliott Sadler gets a great jump on the inside lane, on the outside lane as well. Regan Smith follows into second place as Ty Dillon spun his tires there on the initial start. Now he battles his teammate Paul Menard in that 33. Coming down the straightaway. Not really a straightaway, more of a curve straightaway. Big wide back here, Chris Buescher on the inside of Brendan Gaughan, Darrell Wallace Jr. on the left rear corner panel of Drew Herring. They make contact. Down the track goes Herring and Gaughan. For the top 4 breakaway, Sadler, Smith, Menard, and Ty Dillon. Now Ryan Blaney up in the 5th spot. Chris Buescher and Brian Scott make contact in turn 1. Wallace through the middle in the 6th. And 3 wide behind them, that's Dylan Lupton, Ryan Reed, and Dakota Armstrong. Racing outside the top 15. Chase Elliott, your point leader on the inside of Brendan Poole in the 42. Brendan Gaughan on the outside lane, who slaps the wall off turn 4. Ross Kenseth coming up through the middle in the 20 car. And Sadler and Smith are still 1st and 2nd as the two RCR teammates continue to battle for 3rd place. Tight, trying to sneak by the 33, but Menard's getting that run off turn number 2. Now Ryan Blaney to the inside in that 22 car. Blaney follows the number 3 of Ty Dillon. And now battle for the race lead, Regan Smith on the inside of Elliott Sadler. Two drivers looking for a win in the, actually not their first win. Sadler won at Richmond earlier this year on a field race, but Regan Smith has not won since Daytona of last year. Ty Dillon won Daytona this year in that 3 car. He's now 3rd with Ryan Blaney, Paul Menard, Chris Buescher, Darrell Wallace Jr., Brian Scott, Brendan Poole, and Drew Herring battling Chase Elliott for the last spot inside the top 10. Then Ross Kenseth in 12th. Brendan Gaughan, Ben Rhodes, and Daniel Suarez, your top 15. Jeremy Clements, Dakota Armstrong, Ryan Reed, Dylan Lupton, and Blake Cook. David Starr, J.J. Yaley, Ryan C., Cale Conley, and Landon Castle, Ross Chastain, Jamie Dick, Martin Roy, Kyle Fowler, and Peyton Sellers. Then Harrison Rhodes 31st, Derek Cope, Eric McClure, Joey Gase, and Derek White, Mike Harmon, Josh Ream, Bobby Gerhart, Charles Lewandowski, and Morgan Shepherd. That is how the field looks right now, as Menard up into second and Sadler jobbing back along with the three of Ty Dillon. Paul Menard will be the only real Cup regular in the field this weekend, as this is more of a standalone race in the Cup Series off weekend for the Cup Series, but Menard's still in action this weekend, up in second spot behind the 7 of Regan Smith. Now Blaney third, Sadler fourth, and Chris Buescher fifth, and Brian Scott gets turned by Darrell Wallace when he sees it. But that will allow the 54, the 42, the 20, all these guys to job up in the back bumper of Darrell Wallace and Brian Scott. And Scott racing up here in the front while Chase Elliott right now runs outside the top 10. In the 9, they make contact and Scott's in the outside wall. Ross Kenseth and Elliott's in the wall. He takes out Chase Elliott in the process. Your point leader. Nowhere to go. And a huge crash. J.J. Yaley nowhere to go. Drew Herring in a 54. And they're still spinning. Brennan Poole getting pounded by many jobbers. Derek White involved. J.J. Yaley, Derek White, Eric McClure. So many cars torn up in this. Drew Herring is in the 54. Dakota Armstrong, a lot of front end damage on both the front end and the rear end. David Starr damaged completely. Chase Elliott, your point leader, involved after his trouble at Michigan, and Brian Scott second in points, 45 points behind. And just when it could have been a great opportunity today for the points for Scott after Ellie gets involved, Scott is also taken out in this big pile up here. As you see, many of the cars already sitting on pit road after a huge crash on lap number 7. Just taking out a lot of good cars, a lot of championship contenders right here. So it's all the way up here in the front with Brennan Poole, Ross Kenseth, Darrell Wallace, Drew Herring, and Brian Scott. Ross has a run on his teammate Drew Herring, and a rookie mistake by the 20. He gets right in the left rear corner panel of the 54, collects the 42, and nowhere to go for the number 2 of Brian Scott. But then Chase Elliott hadn't missed until Brennan Poole came down the track into the 9 of Elliott, and then right there, nowhere to go for the 43 of Dakota Armstrong. And then you see many of these. This is a great view of what's going on. There's J.J. Yaley runs right into Brennan Poole. There's David Starr's contact. Chastain gets through, so does Landon Castle. Brennan Poole's going to take the wildest ride as more cars will come and pile right into the 42. Jamie Dix nearly gets by, so does Kyle Fowler, but nowhere to go for the number 24 of Eric McClure. And then Derek White, 13, runs right into the 42 as well. And the remaining 3 cars get by: Lewandowski, Gerhart, and Morgan Shepherd. Man, what a mess this was. Regan Smith was the leader in all of that mess. We have a lot of cars going behind the wall. Brennan Poole had a great starting spot inside the top 10. He's taken his 42 car DC Solar Chevrolet to the garage. So has David Starr and Dakota Armstrong. There's Brian Scott. Even though he has a damaged race car, he is able to continue. So is the 54 of Drew Herring. Right now, Armstrong, Starr, and Poole are out the race. Yaley, McClure, and Derek White are right now 1 lap down. Next weekend, the NASCAR Xfinity Series and the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series will be off, as it will just be the NASCAR Spring Up Series racing on their first road course race of the year in Finian Raceway down in Southern California. Regan Smith, right now your leader. Paul Menard, who will be racing in Sonoma. Second, Ryan Blaney, Elliott Sadler, and Chris Buescher. He made his Cup debut last weekend, had a great run going for the Wood Brothers. Ty Dillon 6th, Darrell Wallace Jr. 7th, Brendan Gaughan, Ben Rhodes, and Daniel Suarez. Because of all these front runners who was taken out, like Brian Scott and Brennan Poole and Drew Herring, Chase Elliott, Ross Kenseth, that has now allowed Jeremy Clements to move up in 11th place. Ryan Reed, Ross Kenseth, who does have a lot of damage in that 20 car, Blake Cook, and Ryan C. Dylan Lupton 16th, Cale Conley, Ross Chastain, Landon Castle, and Jamie Dick. Right now, 21st is Chase Elliott, just trying to hang on and salvage as much points as he can. Kyle Fowler, 22nd, Harrison Rose, Martin Roy, and Peyton Sellers, Derek Cope, Joey Gase, Mike Harmon, Josh Ream, and Charles Lewandowski. Shepard, Gerhardt, Brian Scott, and Drew Herring. Now, because of Brian Scott and Chase Elliott's misfortune, that will allow guys like Ty Dillon and Darrell Wallace Jr. and Brendan Gaughan is up in smoke. Brendan Gaughan, 10th in the point standings, running 8th, and he is up in smoke on lap number 11. Tough break for Brendan Gaughan as his 2015 season continues to have nothing but bad luck. Brendan Gaughan going behind the wall, and it appears that he will finish 34th today. Dakota Armstrong, J.J. Yaley, David Starr, they are out the race along with Eric McClure, Derek White, and Brennan Poole. Now Brendan Gaughan will join them. As Ben Rhodes will move up to 8th, Daniel Suarez and Jeremy Clements having a great run up inside the top 10 at the moment. We still have a lot of racing to go. 11 laps are in the books, but we have many more to go. As we come down to the front straightaway, we're back on the way for Chicago. Regan Smith out in front of Paul Menard. Ryan Blaney sits third with Sadler and Bushy top 5. Now back here, Ross Kenseth has some damage. How will that affect the speed and handling? And will Ryan Sieg and all these guys back here be able to catch them? And just Chase Elliott holding up a few guys back here. And this is where Brian Scott needs to be smart. And there goes Bobby Gerhardt around. The 19th Bobby Gerhardt spinning, and Drew Herring goes through the grass. Morgan Shepard involved. And look at this. Brian Scott still able to get by a few cars. This is where he needs to be smart and make sure he does not risk his car in a bad situation again, because he's already gotten by the number 9 of Chase Elliott. It means that 2 car is a little bit quicker, and the caution is not out. We are still green, but we're going to pause this to show what happened to the 19 of Bobby Gerhardt, the 89 of Morgan Shepard, and the 54 of Drew Herring. And you saw the 54 had a little bit more speed than the 19 and the 89, and it looks like, if I will, right there, it looks like the Brian Scott turned Morgan Shepard down into the 19 of Bobby Gerhardt. On the way, as you see, Paul Menard has gotten by for the lead in that 33 car. But we are now under yellow once again. And we have a car spinning in the grass. Oh man, a lot of cars in Chris Buescher, Ty Dillon, and Regan Smith, and Jeremy Clements involved in Chris Buescher, who has been showing a lot of promise this year. He is involved in that 60 car. Jeremy Clements, there's Buescher, Ty Dillon. Just talking about him, this could be a great point stay for Ty. And these guys just keep on effing it up. That's all I can say right here with Ty Dillon, who gets involved with Regan Smith. 4 wide, no need for that early on in the race. Buescher gets turned on the nose of the 3 of Ty Dillon, and nowhere to go for Regan Smith in that 7 car. It's an instant bystander, and what a heartbreak for Jeremy Clements up inside the top 10, and he gets involved in this 4-car pileup here off turn 4. That is a tough break for Jeremy Clements, who doesn't have the funding like Buescher, Dillon, and Smith. No need for that. 4-wide racing early on in the race, and that was caused by the guy who's right now 30 points, Darrell Wallace Jr. So right now, this could be a great points day for Darrell Wallace, and a great points day for Elliott Sadler as well, and could have been a great points day for Chris Buescher and Regan Smith, but they were involved in that crash, and Buescher is done for the day. Looks like Smith will be able to continue, same with Ty Dillon, but Buescher and Clements are done for the day. We'll take you back to the green flag. 10 laps to go here at the Chicagoland Speedway as laps are winding down and cars are running out. Jeremy Clements and Chris Buescher are behind the wall, and also behind the wall is the number 3 of Ty Dillon. Checking on your championship points leaders, Chase Elliott right now running in 25th, Ryan Scott right now in 22nd, who's still in front of the 9 of Elliott, and Regan Smith is still on track to maybe salvage some points on his championship teammate, Chase Elliott. But up front, Paul Menard having a great run. And a kind of a rare start in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Normally, Austin Dillon has been in that car, and he's taken us to a win at Las Vegas. I'm sorry, not Las Vegas, Bristol. I'm thinking of real life. Elliott Sadler right now second. Ryan Blaney, Darrell Wallace, and Ben Rhodes up inside the top 5. Second career start. Daniel Suarez, Ryan Reed, Ross Kenseth, Ryan Sieg, and Dylan Lupton. And look at all these guys up ahead. Cale Conley, Ross Chastain, Blake Cook, Landon Castle, Jamie Dick. This has really turned into an opportunity race. Kind of like Richmond, where we saw a lot of guys finish up front. We've seen that again a lot today here at Chicago. We're back on the way. Menard, Sadler, Blaney, Wallace, and Rhodes, your top 5. Now to the inside comes Ryan Reed in that 16 car to the inside of Daniel Suarez. And Ross Kenseth, even though he has some left side damage in that 20 car, he's still moving up the field. He's now trying to get up inside the top 5. Back here is where guys will be impatient. Drew Herring pushing Lewandowski by Regan Smith. Now up the track goes to 79. And look at the run that 54 has. Drew Herring in that 54 car. Drives right to the inside of Chase Elliott. That will take another point away from Chase Elliott and another point to Brian Scott and Darrell Wallace. Scott moving by Sellers down to the inside of Joey Gase and right on the back bumper of Derek Coop and Martin Roy. All these cars and how fast he's going, Brian Scott could still get a top 15 finish and salvage a pretty good point stayed due to the other rivals with the championship's misfortune today. And right now, Scott down to the inside of Derek Cope in 70. That will move him up into the 19th position. As we have 8 to go from Chicago. Dylan Lupton up inside the top 10 along with Ryan C. Cale Conley. Talking about him finishing second at Richmond earlier this year. What a career day that was for Cale Conley. But Menard, Blaney, Sadler, and Wallace have pulled away from 5th place Ben Rhodes, Ryan Reed, Daniel Suarez, Ross Kenseth, Dylan Lupton, and Conley now your top 10. Sieg, Cook, Chastain, Landon Castle, and Jamie Dick. Harrison Rhodes, Kyle Fowler, and now Brian Scott 18th. And Chase Elliott 29th. And Regan Smith has been able to get by the 9 of Chase Elliott as well. Wallace up the track in turn 4. But right now, with 6 to go, Paul Menard has a mirror full of Ryan Blaney in that 22. Blaney looking for his second win of the year. Go back to Iowa, the first standalone race this year. Driving that 22 car, started on the pole, and led every single lap en route to his first win of 2015. Right now, looking for win number 4 in his NASCAR Xfinity Series career. Menard slides high. Here comes Blaney to the inside. We saw this last weekend with Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin. And that was a fantastic finish between the 20 and the 88 last weekend. But now this weekend it's the 22 and the 33. Blaney and Menard side by side. And here it comes the one of Elliott Sadler. And Darrell Wallace 4th. Not far behind. Darrell Wallace Jr. won earlier this year at Las Vegas. Elliott Sadler has a win. But Menard and right now, Paul Menard's the only guy up here with no wins. And Chase Elliott's back here racing for 29th place, trying to hold off Charles Lewandowski. Sadler up into 2nd. Menard falls back to 3rd with 4 to go here at Chicagoland Speedway. Now we got Cale Conley moving by into 9th place. Blake Cook 11th. Update on Brian Scott in the 2 car. Right now he's been able to work his way up to the 19th spot. Now I'm trying to get around Kyle Fowler in the 26th. Also, Drew Herring has actually worked his way up to 17th place in that 54. So looks like right now Brian Scott might be settled on at least a top 20 finish as he now drives to the inside of Kyle Fowler. And Ryan Reed gets sent on the nose of Daniel Suarez towards the infield grass. Comes back up the track in front of Daniel Suarez. He slides in the middle. Here comes Suarez right on that white line to the inside. The free wide from 5th place off turn 4. 2 to go. Paul Menard's gotten back around Elliott Sadler and he's now on the back bumper of the 22 of Ryan Blaney. And here comes Paul Menard. Paul Menard has 2 career wins in the Xfinity Series. Milwaukee back in 2006 and Michigan just last year. Now to the inside comes Paul Menard. Can Darrell Wallace Jr. get a run and challenge for the win? Coming down to the white flag. 1 lap to go from Chicago. The race is on from here now. No lot of traffic ahead. The next one will be Chase Elliott. 30th place. Wallace to the inside of Ryan Blaney as Paul Menard has cleared everybody off turn 2. Set to sail to his 3rd career win. as the only Cup regular in the field, making his way into turn 3 and 4. Coming at you, number 4, Paul Menard for Richard Childress Racing is going to pick up his first win of the year in the Owens AttiCat 300. Paul Menard is a winner in 2015 in the NASCAR Xfinity Series here at Chicago. Ryan Blaney second, Darrell Wallace Jr., Elliott Sadler, and Ryan Reed getting top 5 finishes. Daniel Suarez, Ross Kenseth, and Ben Rhodes falls to 8th. And what a career day. Well, not really a career day, but what a great day for Cal Conley. And what a career day for Dylan Lupton inside the top 10. Blake Cook, Ryan Sieg, Landon Castle, Ross Chastain, and Drew Herring. Jamie Dick, Harrison Rhodes, Ryan Scott, 18th. Kyle Fowler, and Joey Gates getting a top 20 finish. And I gotta hurry up and get off. We're gonna try to go through the results quickly. Here they are: Paul Menard, Ryan Blaney, Darrell Wallace. And down outside the top 20, Peyton Stellers, Mike Harmon, Martin Roy, Josh Ram 25th, Regan Smith 26th, and Chase Elliott was able to get one more point up to 29th. And what a horrible point stay with Ty Dillon and Chris Buescher once again, Brendan Gaughan, Armstrong, Yaley, Starr, McClure, White, and Brennan Poole. So the racing here from Chicago, it is over. Next up on the schedule will be Daytona. The Daytona International Speedway in just 2 weeks, so we'll see you down there in Florida. Until next time, congrats to Paul Menard on his first win 2015 in the NASCAR Xfinity Series.